and this guy called Michael, I think it's Greenmore or something like that, or I can't remember his surname, sorry if I butchered it. He's going to be talking about the future of money and how it will play out as a result of the digital asset executive order coming through, and as of China using CBDCs and weaponizing digital assets as a finance. So yeah, let me play the video and let you guys can think about what it means for you and how this could possibly impact digital assets going forward, and whether Biden and his crew are going to be doing the right thing. So yeah, let me play it.
Today with us is Michael Greenwald. He's a former senior U.S. Treasury official. Michael, so let's talk public policy. Following the Digital Asset Executive Order, how do you see the future of money playing out?
Well, I think the Digital Asset Executive Order is a really important inflection point for the digital asset space. The future of money, from my perspective, is going to be a basket of currencies, where you're going to see the three buckets of digital assets: decentralized finance, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, and other blockchains, living alongside the Paxos Circle stablecoins, and then central bank digital currencies. Right now, you have 103 central banks, around 95% GDP, all in pilot stages for a central bank digital currency. I see those three buckets of digital assets all living alongside each other, and I see that ushering in the next iteration of a digital Bretton Woods going forward, because the future of money is that the consumer wants options, and that's where the basket of currencies comes into play.
Michael, are you concerned that China and other countries are using CBDCs to weaponize digital asset finance?
Well, I think that this is nothing new from China. They've tried for years to isolate the dollar and to evade the dollar at every turn. So what I see that China's doing is actually a practice that we're seeing from Russia and Iran and other authoritarian governments. My concern is less about China and less about authoritarian governments overtaking the dollar. My primary concern is complacency here in the United States. And that's where I see the United States needs to evolve and needs to make a transition from an era of dollar dominance. We've seen dollar dominance from going after Al-Qaeda post 9/11, from using it in Libya with Gaddafi, we're doing with Putin in 2014, with China, and now back with Putin. And so dollar dominance has been very effective, but I think we need to innovate, and I think we need to usher in an era of dollar innovation. So I think when you're looking at China and you're looking at these authoritarian governments, they will continue down this path. And I think here in the United States and G7 economies, we need to innovate. But I do see competitiveness play. You'll have authoritarian governments use central banks, weaponize them, and then you'll have G7 economies trying to create a better marketplace of privacy, equity, inclusion, and security for consumers. So I think China is a key way actually to unify parties here in the United States to be on that path to dollar innovation.
Alright, so as you heard there, it's about dominance and all that kind of stuff about the dollar, but the dollar has been used to dominate a lot of countries, and this is why you're having these issues with Russia and China and all these other countries not wanting to use the dollar because it's been used as a weapon. So he's saying basically that China and Russia and all that are weaponizing the dollar, but in the fact the dollar was already weaponized, and it was weaponized by the USA. I'm sorry to say it, but I have to call that one out. Anyway, moving on. Ripple now requests videos. If we can get this in screen. Yup. Requests to authenticate 7 videos of SEC officials' public remarks. SEC refuses to consent. And here's the article. I'm going to go through it briefly. Ripple is asking the court for permission to serve 2 video sharing platforms subpoenas to download 7 videos of SEC officials' public remarks. Ripple has requested permission to serve 2 non-party subpoenas to authenticate 7 copies of video recording of SEC officials' public remarks regarding previous requests for admissions, RFAS. I believe that's previous request, whatever the request for admissions, RFAS. Right. So there's a bit of a tweet here. We can get this open. There we go. Come back here. This is court order regarding the development. It can recall that on July 19th, 2020, the court ordered the two parties to meet and confer about RFAs, asking the SEC to authenticate 7 video recordings of its officials' public remarks. Ripple cited an excerpt of the court's order. Such agreements might entail creating downloadable versions of remarks for authentication and preservation. Following the court's directive, the parties met and conferred on July 27. Despite initially accepting that it would authenticate the remarks once it has access to the video recording, the SEC is stopping Ripple from downloading video content from platforms where they are hosted. Well, okay. I'm not sure why. It depends. Well, it depends on who's hosting them. Yes, I can't get into that. Peer Ripple, the videos are hosted on 2 video sharing platforms. The seven video recordings are subjected to the platform's terms of service, which include preventing unauthorized persons from downloading content without prior consent. Based on this, defendants, including Ripple, Brad Gardenhouse, and Chris Larson, sought consent from video sharing platforms in response to the request of platforms requested that Ripple serve subpoenas before it granted permission to download the videos. As part of the effort to ensure the parties authenticate 7 videos, defendants sought permission to serve subpoenas on both video platforms. According to Ripple, the movement purpose to obtain the videos without violating video sharing platforms' terms of service. Once subpoena requested approved, the blockchain company intends to provide videos for service to the Securities and Exchange Commission for authentication. Right, I'm going to put this in the description. You guys can have a read of this at your will. We can go over the Twitter thing. Defendants request permission to serve. Well, we know that is going through. Right, on to Blockworks. And this is very good. Bitcoin Ether to be regulated as commodities by the CFTC as per new Senate bill. The SEC, which is roughly 6 times the size of the CFTC, will still control some aspects of crypto governance under the new bill, but its reach will be shortened. Oh, what a shame. Well, they ain't done the right thing, have they? It's a group of bipartisan senators gets there if the group gets their way. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission (CFTC) may soon be regulatory body tasked with overseeing Bitcoin and Ether. Sends Deb Stable, is it Stabnow, D. Mitch and John Boozman, and oh yeah, right. I'm not going to go through that because I'm going to mess it all up. All of the bill dubbed the Digital Commodities Consumer Protection Act and introduced it on Wednesday. The legislation clarifies that Bitcoin and ETH are classified as commodities and as opposed to securities, which would place them under the control of Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. The bill does not mention other tokens or provide criteria of classification. But I thought, okay, exchanges that enable investors to trade Bitcoin and ETH must also register with the CFTC, the bill notes. I'm going to put this in the description. You guys can have a read of it at your will. And lastly, forget it. Here we are. Coinbase asks US Supreme Court to halt lawsuits connected to scams and Dogecoin. The company seeks to send the cases to arbitration after federal trial judges earlier rejected such request. Right, here we are. Crypto exchange Coinbase has reportedly asked the U.S. Supreme Court to send two recently filed lawsuit arbitration as per Bloomberg. Federal trial judge in both cases had previously rejected Coinbase's move to send disputes to arbitration, which the exchange said was required under its users' agreement. Coinbase is effectively appealing these initial decisions. Coinbase v. BLackrock, however you say that, was filed by Californian resident Abraham BLackrock, who lost $31,000 after being targeted by a scammer who reported to be a PayPal representative. Well, whose fault is that? It's not Coinbase's. And access BLackrock's Coinbase account. Okay. I have reservations on that one. I think, is it Coinbase's fault? Oh, okay. BLackrock claimed that Coinbase provided little help in regarding the loss of funds and accused Coinbase of violating the Electronic Funds Transfer Act and Regulation E therein. On the other hand, Suzuki versus Coinbase saw the exchange accused of violating California's consumer law by holding allegedly misleading 1.2 million in sweepstakes event involving meme coin Dogecoin without including adequate disclaimers and disclosures about the nature of the sweepstakes. The complainant alleged that traders felt they had to buy and sell 100 in Dogecoin by June 10, 2021 for a chance to win the cash prize, but Coinbase failed to specify users who did not trade Dogecoin could take part in the event as well, leading to some feeling misled. Coinbase has asked the Supreme Court to intervene in an emergent basis to take up the company's appeals. I'm going to leave this in the description. You guys can have a read of it. And the last piece of news I got here is on BlackRock to offer crypto for institutional investors through Coinbase Prime. So this comes back to Coinbase again. One, they're getting sued here, and two, BlackRock wants to use them. But hey, listen, this is crypto for you. Coming back to another one that's been going around, and this is Solana. I heard that that they got issues in terms of being hacked, and I think they've lost about 6 million of people's crypto. I've said this before, and I'll say it again about Solana. This is like the 9th or 10th time that this particular cryptocurrency or crypto platform has had issues. It keeps going down, keeps getting hacked, and personally speaking, I would not touch this crypto. That's really cemented it for me, and I'm hoping, and I mentioned this before, the IMF has a thought process on this, because I believe, the World Economic Forum, I hope they decide to take this off their platform, because it's not looking good for this coin at all, or this particular project, because it keeps failing. Anyway, those who keep losing their cryptos, those who keep getting scammed and that, take your crypto off exchanges. There's a link in my description if you want to use the Ledger. There's a decent wallet out there as well. There's plenty of other wallets you can use. You don't have to use my link in the Ledger. The other thing I want to mention is anybody commenting in the comments and saying you can earn 10k, 29k or whatever, don't listen to them. They're all scammers. And the last thing I want to mention is, again, don't get scammed. Get regulated. Don't trust these people out there that are trying to scam you with their 1.2 or 2% daily crypto. You know what I mean, and invest 10, 20, 200 or whatever it is, 1,000, whatever it is, and you'll get crypto for 7 days. Those are scams, especially the ones with the fake certificates, even more so. You don't see big companies having fake certificates. Certificates. You don't see that on Apple. And Apple saying, "Oh, we're legally traded with some certificate on their platform." You don't see that on their website. You don't see any of that. So why are people falling for these ones that do that and thinking that because they have this certificate that they are legit? They're not. Okay.